Okay, ow, that sneeze hurt. The clouds have burst open just as you and your crew reach the Lobo Negro. Thunder roars overhead, and your muscles ache in sympathy for what comes next. Thunder usually means furling the sails, tying down the cannons, battering the hatches. You and your crew are far from the only sailor seeking shelter at the taberna. The Lobo Negro is always busy, but tonight it's close to standing room only. The entire place is abuzz with talk of the ghost ship, Mutiny, which has been terrorizing the waters around San Alfonso, looking some way for revenge against the Pirate King. Why would they want revenge against the Pirate King? Tanima asks. I shrug, it's just gossip. I grin, the all-powerful Pirate King has to have some scarier than average enemies. I muse aloud, maybe someone's trying to undermine the Pirate King's authority. Let's do that one. If you didn't actually pay attention, I clicked the second one, the musing. Whether or not the ghost ship has anything to do with the Pirate King, sailors will talk. And with the infamy the Pirate King has reached, what would make a better story than a terrifying ghost ship? As Tanima and Caesar ponder the issue, a figure winds its way through the Lobo Negro towards you. It takes you a moment to recognize him. Gone is the posh stranger unfamiliar with the ways of San Alfonso. In the place of Jacquin de Avelis, you once knew is a stranger, whiter than who has done something to earn a wicked scar from his chin to ear. Even though your first thought is to imagine how much a cut like that bled onto a ship's deck, the second thought, close at the first heels, is that it actually enhances his attractiveness. The eyes, however, are still the same, calculating, observant, and guarded. I meet him halfway, I'm glad to see him, I wait for him to come to me, I clear out that man's trouble. I wait for him. It takes some time for him to reach you, and though you keep tabs on his progress, you purposely don't make eye contact until he arrives. I've been looking for you, he says, by way of introduction. Likewise, you answer cautiously, given that it's been a year since you last spoke. I have a proposition for you. Looking to hire or be hired? Interestingly, neither, he says, throwing you a rakish grin. You can tell he's practiced. Someplace quieter, though, with fewer ears. He gestured to Caesar and Tanina. Present company accepted, of course. Do you know El Jardín de Alejandro? Everyone knows the gardens behind the library, mostly for the reputation for peace and rarely for their more clandestine meetings. Just the idea of meeting there for business feels odd, but they're open enough that you'll be able to tell whether or not you're walking into a trap. It won't be pleasant in weather like this, but there's a small gazebo that would offer cover from the rain. You nod. Next bell, you say. Jacquin gives you a final grin before sauntering away. The rain has let up somewhat by the next bell, but not much. And you, Caesar, and Tanima make a mad dash across San Alfonso. Why can't we just walk? I mean, we control the weather. Trying to avoid a drenching. When you reach El Jardín, you see Jacquin waiting under the gazebo, a lantern providing a little illumination. Thank you for coming, Captain Morgan, he says formally. Then he grins. Or should I say, Benstacar Angelico? I'm assuming that's how you pronounce that? Let's hear about this business transaction, De Avelis, you reply. He begins. Before I came to San Alfonso to find my fortune, I had friends among the Crown Navy. Though that begs for explanation, you get the feeling none would be forthcoming, so you nod for him to go on. Despite my current occupation, I've maintained some contacts among my old friends. You're a spy? Caesar demands. I've maintained contacts, Jacquin repeats. Like the people of San Alfonso, the Crown Navy is quite concerned about the ghost ship disturbing the trade routes of the merchants and colonies they protect. Janima makes a disparaging sound in her throat. Like most islanders, she has little use for the Crown's concept of colonies. Jacquin ignores both of your companions. Anyone who were to rid the Lucayan of this menace would be well thought by the higher-ups in the Crown Navy, he continues. Like everything involving Jacquin, you have the sense that there's more to the story. Why not offer such an opportunity to your captain? Kind thoughts don't translate to wealth. Is there a reward? What's the crown really after? I've heard enough. I've made my decision. What's the crown really after? Jacquin spreads his hands in a gesture of vacation. I can only tell you what I've heard from my contacts, he says. But, somehow you expected the but. The crown is very interested in, he pauses, considering the next word, removing the pirate king. Tanima and Caesar are both absolutely silent. If a known pirate were to eliminate the threat of the ghost ship to prove his worth, that pirate would soon find himself being channeled funding from very obscure investors in order to form a fleet that could challenge even the infamous ruler of the pirate. Oh, it's him talking. If a known pirate were to eliminate the threat of the ghost ship that prove his worth, that pirate would soon find himself being channeled funding from a very obscure investors in order to form a fleet that could challenge even the most infamous ruler of the pirates. He shrugs and leans back. Or so it has been suggested to me. Yeah. Jacquin nods. I am very interested to hear in what you have to say. I accept the challenge from the crown. I'll prove my worthy of their patronage. I'll take on the ghost ship, but not for the crown. I'll have to think it over. I'm not fool enough to take on the ghost ship. I'll take on the ghost ship, but not for the crown. You've no interest in working for the crown, secretly or otherwise. But if the threat of the ghost ship is real to the crown navy, then it's real to the Lucayan. If trade becomes too hazardous, the whole Lucayan, not to mention your income, will suffer. Besides, the person who takes down the ghost ship will gain fame beyond anything you've achieved so far, which is 62. Jacquin just shrugs at your response. If you change your mind, leave me a message here, he says, gesturing to the leg of the gazebo bench on which he's sitting. A quick pattern wrap opens a small compartment. Oh, a quick pattern wrap opens a small compartment. Okay, just large enough to hold messages. I wish you the best of luck in facing down the ghost ship. He stands, lifting his lantern in a way that makes its hood cast a shadow on his face. You'll need it. Jacquin rises and steps out into the rain. As he walks, he douses his lantern and disappears into the night. Your dreams are filled with images of ships smeared with a pitch that spreads across their hulls, of sailors with eyes like coals, of tattered sails fluttering in an unfelt wind. It's a restless sleep, and when you wake in the morning, all you want is a quiet breakfast full of all the delicacies you can get out at sea. Tanima and Caesar both have other plans for you, however. I want to talk to you about the ghost ship, Tanima says, catching you as you make your way down the stairs below the Negro. Caesar, at least, buys you breakfast. You're not even awake enough to fully understand what it is, but you think there's a chorizo in it. Okay, there's chorizo in it. Before he accosts you. About the ghost ship, Caesar starts. Food first, then talking. I'm interested in Tarina's take as a cambiante. I want to hear Caesar's opinion on fighting the ship. I'd really rather leave the ghost ship to another pirate. I'd like both their opinions. Thank you for that option. Tell me what you're thinking, you say. Caesar looks at Tamino for a moment, then gestures for her to go first. The cambiante takes a deep breath and then begins. Most ghost ships are created through a curse of some kind or another. They stole an object that was cursed and they have to put it back. A cursed object was given to them by a cambiante or a spirit and has to be destroyed. In any case, the ghosts are trapped. They're not the aggressors, but the victims. They seem fairly aggressive to me, you remind her. I know, she says. But I'm saying it's not by their choice. They want to be set free, and I think that's the reason to go after the ship. We should end the curse. They'll have a limited amount of time before we're either in too much danger ourselves or the ship disappears. Or we'll have a limited. Okay. How does it do that, you ask? She spreads her hands wide, showing that she doesn't have a good explanation. Once I have a chance to do a thorough study of ghost ships, I'll let you know, she says. Caesar unfolds a paper in his hands and spreads it out in front of you. It's a bounty, he explains. El Sabio is offering a 1,000 doubloon reward to anyone who can stop the ghost ship before it attacks San Alfonso. He, and others, feel the port is in danger, and not just because of the damage to trade. 1,000 doubloons is easily the value of 3 ship captures. Has anyone said why the Pirate King isn't stepping in to handle this? Caesar smiles. Everyone believes that the Pirate King is actually the one offering the bounty. He's just doing it through El Sabio to keep up appearances. Which doesn't explain why the infamous pirate isn't taking matters into his own hands. But you suppose there are more important issues. How do you think the ghost ship can be defeated, you ask Caesar. It has to be destroyed, Caesar says firmly. The best I can think is to fire on it from as far away as we can to avoid getting hit with whatever hellish weapon it uses. I'd like to avoid the crew engaging those dead sailors if we can. You frown. Tanima, you said it can disappear. She nods, so you continue. Can we do enough damage to destroy it before that happens? The stories I've heard say it can take damage. Nope, that's Caesar. Damn it. The stories I've heard say it can take damage, Caesar presses, looking at the Cambiante. Tanima nods, grudgingly. It's not immune to the physical. Enough damage, and it would vanish for a longer time. If it were destroyed completely. Okay, but I don't think that should be our first choice. You look back and forth between Tanima and Caesar, both of whom you think can defeat the ghost ship. The bounty from Asabio seals the deal. Let's hunt for ghosts. Someone needs to stop this menace. It might as well be us. If the Pirate King can't take care of his own problems, somebody worthy should claim the title. Someone needs to stop this menace. What tactic do you think will work best? Tanima's right. We'll have to figure out the object behind the curse. Caesar's right. We'll do best bombarding the ship from afar. Yep, we're going to go with Tanima. If you need to break the curse to destroy the ship, you'd better figure out what cursed the ship in the first place. All right, Tanima, you say. Let's see if we can't find some information about the history of the mutiny in the Biblioteca de Alejandro. Caesar sighs but accompanies you to the library. The three of you pore over books, and surprisingly, it's Caesar who finds the story. About 100 years ago, the mutiny was a ship in the fleet of the Pirate King, presumably a predecessor to the current title holder. Though given the dead pirate's reputation, who knows? Her captain was skimming profits from the Pirate King's fleet, so the Pirate King transferred the mutiny's hold to a cursed amphora that he claimed contained a valuable oil for a specific customer. The mutiny was to make the delivery. Instead, the mutiny's captain decided to find another buyer. He broke the wax seal on the amphora and released the curse on his crew. That's Tanima. That explains the bit about them seeking revenge on the Pirate King, Tanima offers. And that's what we'll have to destroy. It's probably still in their hold. Because, of course, getting rid of the hold of the ghost ship would be a simple task. You spend a few weeks in San Alfonso conversing with your business partners and making sure the Sea Queen is in the best possible condition to go after the mutiny. You also make a point of meeting with your fleet captains and collecting your take from their marks, as well as making sure they'll be in the waters nearby your attempt on the mutiny, should things go badly. You've no desire to lose the Sea Queen, but if she's sunk, you'll want to have an escape plan in place. The first day you'd chosen to head out, the weather is dreadful, and you're leery of setting out after the ghost ship in a storm that could well be the forerunner of a hurricane. As it turns out, your worries blow over with the storm, and the day you get the Sea Queen back out into the open water, the sky is bright, the clouds are wispy, and the wind is fresh. It's a perfect day for sailing. At least in the morning. By mid-afternoon, those clouds have darkened eerily, thickening the Lobo Negro's day-old chowder. You look at... I should just calm down for a minute. I'm getting ahead of myself. You look at Tanima, and she nods in acknowledgement. It's not a natural weather change. The mood on the Sea Queen grows tense as you all wait for what feels inevitable. You didn't need to find the mutiny. She's already found you. "Ghost ship off the starboard bow!" calls the sailor in your crow's nest. You swing your spyglass around, and there she is, the mutiny. Her sails hang in tatters. Her hull is black against the darkening waves, and though you can't see her sailors, you can feel their anger directed at you across the waters. Close to bombardment range and stay back. Close to boarding range, use cambiar on the winds to outmaneuver the mutiny. Let's use cambiar on the winds. let's see, Cambiar's at 80, Parlay's at 73, Fame is at 62. I think my pistols and swords increased from watching the pistol and sword fight on the stage, because it was at 35 before, and I haven't done anything with it. My goodwill and my honorable, holy KO. And Tanimo we're at 83, finally ahead of Caesar. Menstacar Angelico. Flag, a PB&J sandwich. Damn right. Tanimo begins to chant, and the winds rise around you, filling your sails and setting your course so that as you approach, you'll show the man of war your bow, the smallest surface for the ammunition to hit. The waiting between when you set course and when you finally come into range is excruciating. But then, as they fire the first salvo into your bow, Tanimo raises a wave, swallowing their ammunition while simultaneously changing the direction of the wind. You've discussed this maneuver before, but you've never pulled it off, and today is no different. You try to give... Wait, what? Okay, you try to give the commands for the tack needed to put the ship alongside the mutiny, bow to bow, but you get much closer than you mean to before you can harvest the wind. The advantage you gained in your approach is lost, and though you fire the broadside at her, she's had more time to reload than you'd like. The gunship's return salvo comes much more quickly than any of you anticipated. Some of the dark pitch that serves as the ammunition falls short, crashing into the water, but enough hits your hull to pull you listing toward the ghost ship, and then it spreads. Your crew try to keep the gun ports clear, ready to fire again before the ship can do any worse damage. Tanima shouts over the now howling wind, "I can feel where the cursed item is. We have to get to their hold." Now that Tanima has pointed it out, you can feel it as well. It's like an oil coat atop water, or wood that's rotting from the inside out. It's definitely in the hold at the center of the ship. As your crew prepares to fire again, what ammunition do you use? Chain shot into her rigging, case shot into her crew to clear the way for boarding, heated shot, burn baby burn. Case shot into her crew to clear the way for boarding so I can get on with Caesar and go destroy the object. You don't know if it'll impact the ghastly sailors aboard as much as the crew of true flesh and blood, but it's the best way to get your enemies out of the way for a boarding action. You're ordered to the crew to fire, and a staccato burst of uneven fire sounds from your gun ports. The case shot does its job, tearing into the skeletal crew, but only half of your volley hits. The rest thumps harmlessly against the hull of the ghost ship, which seems to swallow your ammunition into the pitch smeared over its wood. And still, you close, preparing to board. Who do you take with you? Order your crew to prepare to board. Ask the crew for volunteers to board. I'll need Tanima's skill with Cambiar. We'll board together. I'll board with Granny O'Malley. I could use her wisdom and Cambiar. I need Caesar's fighting skill. We'll board together. I'll board alone. Here's the thing. With the Cambiar, I'm either going to take Tanima or Granny O'Malley. And I'm not entirely sure. She is a ghost, so she should understand that stuff. I suppose we'll go ahead and board with Granny O'Malley. Just a second. I got a text. Again. Damn it. I messed up. I hate the... Okay, so my phone has the thing where rather than clicking the buttons so many times to... Okay, first of all, it's like this. Rather than clicking the button so many times to get the letter, you just click the number, and then it will try to auto-complete it for you. So a lot of the times it auto-completes the wrong thing, or you'll miss a button, and it won't actually spell out what you want, and you'll get like halfway through it, and you'll try to do spelling tangerine, you'll end up with like fart or something like that. You don't... oh yeah, I'm gonna board with Granny O'Malley. Because I don't want Tanima to die, and they both know Cambiar. Even though I know Cambiar too. Obviously, I'm just me right now, so I don't know exactly what Cambiar can entirely do. You can't let the ghost ship get close enough for a full boarding action. The only way to keep them at bay and get to the cursed object is swing aboard from a distance. Luckily, you've already set up the line, and Granny O'Malley doesn't need more ropes to get herself across to the ghost ship. So long as the ship's with you, the captain of the Sea Queen, she explained earlier, she can travel at will. You'll think about those implications later. For now, you watch as the ghost ship cuts through the waves, closing on you more quickly than the winds should allow. You wait in the rigging for just the right moment. Tanima shifts the wind just as the mutiny looks like she'll go hull to hull. You swing across as the Sea Queen jives into Tanima's new downwind heading away from the ghost ship. The skeletal pirates shriek in wordless rage, focus on the ship moving beyond their reach. They didn't seem to notice you at all, but you look to Granny to question their reaction. She merely gives you a reassuring nod. Well then. Good to be in the company of a ghost on a ghost ship. You waste no time making your way to the hold before things can get even stronger. Stranger. You practically slide down the companionway through the mutiny's 3 gun decks, away from the ghastly crew, and into the darkness of the hold. Your eyes take a moment to adjust, but as they do, you see mounds and mounds of treasure. Bars of gold, coins from distant lands, textiles and spices, all in pristine condition. There among it all is... What the heck just happened? That just... It says my camera came unplugged. What the hell? Give me a second. Why is this doing that? Why did that do that? Is my camera not being happy right now? I don't know what the heck I just unplugged or plugged back in. What did you do to my camera?
I didn't do anything.
You did. It randomly turned off. I didn't. Yeah, it's... What the heck? Alright, I'm gonna plug everything. And plug it all back in. Why is my camera not on? What the hell? Alright, where's the cord for it? Alright, that's the cord for the camera. Why did I... I just knocked it down. That's great. That's fine. Fantastic. I'm so smart. Yeah, it came unplugged. What the hell? Or it's not unplugged, but it's not working. Here, I'll unplug it again and plug it back in. Why is it not registering that anymore? The heck? Is my camera back behind here now? I gotta grab it. Where the hell is it? It's right here. Why is that not working? That's not going to help. Okay, well, I guess I'll finish this and then figure out what the hell's going on with my camera. There among it all is an amphora, set aside from the other things, and, unlike its peers, not lashed into place. Instead, it sits on its own, immobile, regardless of the swaying of the ship. That's it, Granny says. Destroy it, and we'll destroy the whole ship. You can sense that this is the thing keeping the ship in the curse's clutches. You have to destroy it in order to truly defeat the ghost ship and end the curse. What do you do? All this treasure just sitting here, I help myself, I take a closer look at the amphora, I shoot the amphora with my pistol. We'll figure this out next time, after I figure out what the hell is going on with my camera.